protagonist of the game takes a walk out, being the first time for a while. But as soon as she is out, heavy rain starts pouring, as if being a sign that the protagonist should have stayed home. This of course aligns with her current mental state and how she feels isolated and alone, struggling to convince herself to leave the house. She turns to get back home when all of a sudden she hears a strange sound. Looking around, the streets are desolate and empty, with only few people in sight. This doesn't come as surprise, as the area has been known having many missing cases, and of course the weather doesn't help. No one from the few people outside react to the cries of the cat, but the protagonist cannot help but let curiosity guide her steps. From now on, I will non-canonically call the protagonist Anahita, or Ana for short, a name associated with an ancient goddess linked to many different aspects, but most importantly, a goddess representing health and healing. This will be an important aspect of the story. Anahita enters a dark and gloomy alley where the sound comes from. Inside a large cardboard box cowers a vulnerable black cat with golden yellow eyes. The thought of someone leaving this cat in the cold pouring rain frustrates Ana, finding it despicable and unfair. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. Anahita has the option to whether take the cat or leave it. For the story to begin, we must take the cat in, as otherwise Ana goes back to her life without the cat achieving an ending called Nyat, a fool. Ana takes the cat home, promising to keep the cat warm at least for a day and then give it to shelter so someone can properly take care of it. As Ana is busy with life and cannot afford to take care of a cat, struggling to take good care of herself alone. She lives in a one-bedroom, one-bathroom apartment, living alone on her own. Ana buys a can of cat food on the way back home, who then opens it up for the cat to eat when they are in the nice and warm apartment. She calls the cat over, smacking her tongue. The cat goes to the food but completely ignores it. Dismissing this as the cat not being hungry, Ana starts on her own cooking, using a knife to make herself a toast. That's when she accidentally cuts her finger. As she goes looking for a bandage, she sees the cat from afar jumping onto the counter and licking the bloodied knife, as if being hungry for blood rather than actual food. Surprised to what she sees, she still dismisses it as it being a strange cat. She decides to keep the cat at least for the day until tomorrow, when she will take it to the shelter. As sitting on a couch, the cat starts glaring at Anahita as if demanding something. This makes Ana a little uncomfortable, worried that the cat might be after more blood. The cat becomes increasingly agitated and keeps glaring and meowing at Anahita. She thinks something might be wrong with it, so she picks up the phone to call the local vet. Looking around for a flashlight, especially as her phone has died, she sees the cat standing behind the digital clock, which is glitching. Pointing the flashlight at the cat, it glares at Ana in stillness, not moving a muscle. It's almost unsettling. The word kill and help can be seen on the clock. That's when the flashlight flickers when the cat disappears from sight. Ana is uncomfortable and scared, not understanding what's going on. She feels something watching her, patiently and eagerly. She hears a whisper in her mind, "Let's play," which shakes her deep in her bones. Ana is too scared to move, feeling as if her legs are becoming numb when she can't support her own weight anymore, falling to the ground. She notices that she stepped on the kitchen knife, causing her bare foot to bleed. From the darkness, a ray of light shows the limited space in the room, displaying the kitchen knife being bloodied by the fresh cut. The stray cat emerges from the darkness, maliciously and carefully approaching the knife and licking the blood clean again. When done, the cat stares back at Anahita as if it wants more. Ana is terrified and collects all the strength in her, running for the door, leaving a trail of blood behind her. The outside has changed, the sky is red and there's a streak of light making things look white in its way. She runs in the dark street, which is unusually empty and pitch black, apart from the white light making a path. She fears the worst, that this strange cat is behind her. That's when she sees the cat standing right in front of her. Seeing the same thing, continuing to run, when all of a sudden she blacks out. It's been a while since Anahita has felt like going out. The weather is absolutely perfect. The sun is shining and it strangely feels it's going to be a good day. Unknowingly, Anahita has become trapped in a time loop. The first ending begins the loop with the cat being in control now, being a powerful entity in the shape of a cat who preyed on lonely people showing kindness to a stray cat. Anahita happens to be the perfect victim to prey on. She doesn't remember her past encounter. After some time walking outside, she hears the vulnerable cries of a cat, meowing. Going down the alleyway, she finds a black cat with golden yellow eyes in a large box being abandoned. This feels familiar, but she doesn't remember the first encounter. She decides to take the poor stray cat home and decides to buy some cat food on the way home, but a strange feeling takes over her that the cat might not be hungry. Anna brushes this feeling off and goes home, deciding to clean the apartment. As she starts cleaning, the apartment becomes increasingly more and more unorganized, and more piles of trash and clustered hoards are found. She is confused to what is happening, yet it feels as if it is normal. Anna feels like she is losing her mind. All of a sudden, a large piece of appliance that she doesn't even know what could be falls over her, crushing her to death. Just when she is about to take her last breath, she feels the cat approaching her in the pool of blood when she blacks out. As Anahita reawakens again from this dark nightmare which she doesn't remember much of, she repeats the same events, finding the cat in the alley which she takes home. While cleaning, this time around, she stops to search for what the culprit could be, causing the piles to build up. As she stares at the cat, she notices how a clone jumps out of the cat number 1. Soon after, a horde of cat clones overwhelmed the apartment from floor to ceiling, who rush towards Anna and crush and cut her into submission when she loses her life yet again, without even remembering what happened before. This is just the start for Anna's circle of suffering and pain, as she keeps on looping and dying in painful ways over and over again by this eldritch entity in the shape of the cat. This time around, Anna decides to watch a horror film. She notices the cat sleeping on the sofa and decides to let it be, sitting down on the floor. Deep in the movie, she starts feeling something watching her from behind. She turns, seeing a horrifying version of the cat for a split second before it turns back to normal. She thinks the movie is getting the best of her. She turns back to the TV and tries to rewind the parts that she missed. The power suddenly goes out. The TV strangely turns back on despite all the lights being off. An eerie footage displays a deformed version of Anahita staring back at her through the TV. She is frozen in her place, not able to move or utter as much of a word. The clone on the TV waves at Anna, smiling menacingly. The clone moves out of the frame, with the cat being seen sat on the sofa instead. Despite being the same cat, it is deformed, looking like a monster. Its sharp teeth and multiple eyes stare into Anna's soul. The clone of Anna from the TV walks to the monster cat, touching its fangs, which strangely cuts Anna's fingers in real life. The clone of Anna acts like a voodoo doll, causing pain and injuries to the real Anna. The clone looks directly at Anna, smiling at it, when all of a sudden it shifts its gaze back to the monster cat again and jumps right into its mouth. Everything blacks out for Anna, who feels the moisture of the cat's mouth, slowly feeling like she is going deeper and deeper into abyss, when things black out and she repeats the loop again. The cat is too powerful, manipulating and twisting the fabric of reality. It controls Anna's mind and does not let her escape. The cat feeds on Anna over and over again in a looping timeline, a loop that she doesn't remember when repeating it again. This time around, Anna decides to get back on the sofa and place the cat on the floor. After some time watching her horror film, a loud crash sound startles Anna. Tracing the source of the sound, she goes to the bathroom, seeing nothing out of ordinary. As she decides to head back, continuing with the horror film, the door to the bathroom shuts on its own. The light starts to flicker, but gets back to normal. Checking the mirror, a monster appears momentarily and gives Anna a mini heart attack. Checking the mirror again, the monster is seen on it again. Anna regains her strength and runs back to the hall. She starts feeling unwell, thinking it must be the horror movie getting to her. Getting dizzy, Anna struggles to calm herself when she eventually loses her balance and collapses on the floor. Just before hitting the floor, she sees the cat maliciously approaching her and transforming when her heart gives in, dying instantly. Repeating the loop again, this time Anna decides to take a nap. As she tries to sleep, she finds the cat kneading at the sheets and then taking a nap. Anna tries to move the cat, but the cat doesn't budge, who then uses an invisible force to shove Anna away. A mini hurricane forms, throwing all furniture and items around while sucking Anna in. The last thing Anna sees is the cat kneading back on the sheet and falling back to sleep. This clearly shows the cat does not like being messed around with, and it is the overlord god wants to rule. The loop resets and Anna decides to let the cat sleep on the bed, who curls up next to her. After a few hours waking up, trying to get up, she feels the claws of the cat digging into her back, with static filling her mind. She falls back to sleep and wakes up at the night. Trying to get back up, she feels overwhelmingly tired. She goes back to sleep again and wakes back up the next day in the morning. She is late for work, but the cat curls up next to her, causing her mind to fill with statics and being unable to stand. Feeling exhausted, she goes back to sleep yet again. Waking back up, unsure to when it is, as if several weeks have passed, she hears the cat jump off the bed and going to the kitchen. That's when she feels sore and extremely hungry. She feels as if she is starving. As she tries to get back up, static fills her mind, being exhausted, feeling her legs having lost muscle and being weaker. She falls back to bed, falling on her arm, when her arm crumbles to dust, yet not feeling it, as if her nerves have even dried up. She tries with whatever strength that she has left to get up, when she collapses, with all her bones crumbling and breaking. She tries to reach for the door, but the cat gets to her, with life leaving Anna's body. The loop resets and Anna is back where she started, finding the cat in the alley, taking it home, and then having different options to do different things. This time, she tries to pet the cat. As she starts, she cannot stop herself, as if some sort of force or power compels her. As she pets, the cat gets annoyed and tries to get away, but Anna keeps on petting. That's when the cat bites, but Anna keeps on petting. Eventually, the cat bites off the finger. She doesn't stop. She continues on until the cat separates the hand from the arm. That doesn't make Anna stop petting, despite the excruciating pain. As she goes on for days on end, the cat keeps mauling and hurting Anna to the point that she can't anymore, losing her life. The cat's abilities are displayed in a following ending. The loop resets, and when Anna feeds the cat some tuna, it starts hiccuping and letting out bubbles having tiny fish inside. These tiny fishes pop out of the bubbles and start biting into Anna, eventually killing her. This shows how the cat is capable of creating entities and creatures from within itself, being just one small part of its abilities. Equally, if Anna tries to feed the cat leftover meatloaf, the cat transforms it into a meat creature, overtaking the entire apartment, growing rapidly, which itself starts growing mouths and then eventually eating Anna. It seems as if the cat can only feed on blood, as anything else can cause it to create hostile entities in the shape of the food that it tried to consume. The loop resets and Anna tries to feed the cat the mysterious food in the container. Opening the container, it disgusts Anna. She can't make out what it is. It looks rotting and smells terrible. The cat strangely indulges in eating it. As it starts, Anna feels a sharp pain shooting up from her foot. Looking down, her sock is bloodied. Taking it off, she notices one of her toes being missing. As the cat continues to eat more and more, she starts feeling more pain, seeing how she is sustaining injuries from thin air. As she looks at what the cat is eating, the slush of goo and fluids seem like having parts of human parts. They seem to be the representation of Anna's body parts. The cat happily continues on munching, but Anna shrieks in pain and collapses to the floor, noticing how she is losing more and more body parts, when eventually she can't breathe anymore and passes away. There are around 40 endings and Anna keeps looping for hundreds of times, but we can see 40 varying loops. Anna was someone who was abandoned by her parents, which left her scarred, feeling unaccomplished and as a burden, having no trust or confidence in herself. Deep in thoughts, she encounters the cat again, who this time starts talking. It reveals that it has been controlling Anna's mind and orchestrating every possible outcome. In fact, Anna never died and none of this really happened. She has been just daydreaming over and over again about her encounter with the cat and the possibilities of it. The cat has been trying to break her down mentally. There were so many instances and so many symbolisms that show how toxic this relationship is with the cat and how the cat wants to have control over Anna's everyday life and anything else in it. The cat is a supernatural being who called out to anyone listening to satiate its hunger, and Anna came, answering. It seems to somehow feed on people's subconscious. The cat preyed on people who are lonely and desperate for friendship, people who are alone and don't have a lot of confidence in themselves, being easy praise. The cat explains Anna is already it and she cannot escape anymore. The cat takes Anna back to earlier endings where it chases after her and hunts her, feeding on the fear and despair that she displayed. This entity feeds on these negative emotions and energy, and Anna seemed to be a perfect fit. That's when the cat explains it has taken a liking to Anna, giving her two choices whether to join it or to die. Deciding to join the cat, she falls into the cat, becoming part of it. Despite this ending, Anna can still cling to her subconscious and fight the cat. She feels this ending is not a happy one, in fact, being kept alive just to suffer and have no control. She decides to pass away, yet not be part of the cat. The cat maliciously tells Anna to turn around when she sees a horrifying shadow entity overtaking as far as the eyes can reach. Anna, knowing that she has no other choice, approaches this shadow, letting herself to be engulfed by it. Despite being the end and being an endless empty void, there are others inside, voices that she can hear, other victims and preys who are nothing but subconsciouses left behind. They are trapped forever in this darkness, just existing. They explain the cat has consumed too much, being too greedy, which is a critical error that it had made, allowing all these lost souls unite and make the cat weaker. However, as they are far too gone, Anna would be their only chance of breaking out. Anna needs to persist as she has not fully lost. This is too much for Anna, who doesn't believe in herself. She lets go just to be one with it and others. She loses and the voice grows silent. The concept of time and space is lost. Anna doesn't know how long she has been there, whether a second or thousands of years. That's when she feels the heavy burden of this choice, deciding to persistently fight. Despite not being too confident in herself, Anna explains how this is her life and her choice to be whether dead or alive. She understands this is her dream and she is in control, and that the cat is the needy one calling out for others to consume. The cat goes down a path of manipulation and gaslighting, trying to control Anna, but she persists and the voices help when all of a sudden she has her mind over the matter, overcoming this entity. She finds herself back in the alley, not seeing the cat in the box. That's when the cat appears metaphysically, who tries to control Anna's choices. The cat is a step behind, very close, trying to take over. The world starts becoming so real, as if Anna is still in the depths of her mind and subconscious. She desperately explores it to find a way out. The cat is right behind, chasing after her. The voices from the void start to speak on how many of them are breaking free, with the cat's control unraveling. The cat starts to panic, still desperate to regain control, but Anna is persistent and is still fighting. She has her choice back and decides to go back home. The cat, instead of being arrogant now, changes demeanor and starts begging that it will die without praise and the control over Anna. It pleads and begs, but Anna persists and keeps on going. That's when she finally manages to find the metaphysical door letting her out into the real world. In the alley, she finds this entity, being a black blob in the box. After all this, Anna decides to assert herself and not take the cat home. The entity, in a defeated and weak voice, explains how it will be alone and that she took everyone away from it. Anna explains how it never had to be alone, but it kidnapped people, tried to control them, torment them, and take their lives away. They had no choice or freedom. It was all about it. The cat. This could act as a representation of toxic and abusive relationships and friendships. The entity in despair, left with no other choice, says how it only wants Anna and loves her. It explains how it doesn't want to be alone and wants to be with Anna. But Anna knows better. These are just manipulations and tricks. The entity is defeated and wants to get what it wants, wanting the control. The entity promises to change and be good, but Anna knows better that the entity has already displayed what it is. It is just desperate now. Anna stands on business and wants nothing to do with the entity, despite it crying. After time and time of trying to trick her, the entity reveals how it hates Anna, which really reveals the truth. Anna still chooses not to take the entity home and sees the entity for what it is, a toxic, hostile being feeding on people's misery and pain. It slowly fades away while glaring at Anna. Anna bids the entity farewell, and despite it feeling sad, this is something that needed to be done. The rain stops and Anna feels well. She decides to heal and take control over her life, enjoying to do things alone, going to the theater, the carnival, the dog park, and chooses to talk to others and open up. She learns to love her life and herself, having a better outlook in life, happy that she has options and freedom, not taking her life for granted. She explains how it was difficult in the beginning to move on from the cat, often going to the alley to see if she can still find the cat. She cut herself at times, crying and blaming herself, but slowly and gradually going out and trying out new things, allowing herself to move on and live her life, to have freedom and options. She starts to think about it less and less often. Things become more clear that it was for the best, not forgetting about the others who were trapped, what she did for them and what they did for her. Eventually, it becomes part of her past, something that doesn't affect her anymore. Days and weeks pass. She heads back home again, where she rejoins with her new cat, whom she rescued having an injury. She saved the cat, and this time the cat appreciates it and gives Anna her freedom. Of course, the story is more symbolic, and as Anna said from before, she was abandoned by her toxic and abusive parents. She was left straight just like the cat, being broken and traumatized. The cat, or it, represented bad relationships or the pain that she carried from the parents. They controlled her mind, her decisions, her livelihood, her life, and her freedom. But eventually, she realizes it is her life and she has a choice. She has the freedom to think how she wants and decides to move on. That is when it becomes desperate and manipulative, trying to trick Anna more. But she says enough is enough. Right after, life becomes more difficult, but eventually surrounding herself with hope and positivity, allowing herself to make friends and experience the world and what it has to offer, she eventually moves on and becomes happier. As her name suggests, Anahita, a goddess for health and healing, she takes time to heal and allows herself to be happier, a life that she deserves. And that's it for this video, folks. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to stay tuned as I'm planning to make more endings of the game. As always, it's been your host Star. Thanks for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Have a fantastic day.